I've been traveling a lot, so she's needy when I'm traveling. No, she just wants the Red Bull. Come on, bro.
she's she's being the mascot.
You got something to say? Okay.
She's like, I got a lot to say.
So today, Kristina's not with us. Kristina has been in Europe for weeks, so my podcast has been on hold for weeks, and I've been traveling a lot, trying to take advantage of that too. So I reached out to my friend Michael here. And,
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today. Thank you
welcome.
for saving us right now, because we have literally been, I think we're 2 episodes. I don't know. I've lost count. I don't know. So I appreciate that. And what's really funny is when Kristina and I started this and we started thinking about, once we started incorporating other people into it, you were one of the people that came to mind, because Kristina and I didn't expect, like, this podcast wasn't founded on like paranormal at all. Actually, it was in my brain. It's my squirrel brain. That's why it's the squirrels.
I was wondering what that.
So, you know what? People want to know about the squirrels. So since Kristina's not here, and I'll explain what happened and how squirrels happened. I've been wanting to do a podcast for years. So I have a YouTube channel that I used to do like a lot of, just the normal like influencer stuff. So hauls, I wore a lot of makeup back then. So I would do makeup, buy all Jeffree Star stuff and like talk about it and do my makeup and stuff like that. And then I did daily life vlog, and I did that for years. And I had like people following my life. Like if anybody knows like the backstory to me, I'm like a nature girl. So like I would be traveling all over the place and like just kind of, showing off my life, kind of like that, like the nature part of it, or the beach days and stuff. So, and I kind of fell off of that, and after COVID, kind of just stopped YouTubing and stuff. And I had a friend that I tried to do a podcast with. I've asked everybody. I've literally asked everybody in my life that I've come across that I thought would be, okay on camera, because you got to enjoy being on camera. I mean, not enjoy it, but it's obvious if you don't. So
Not sweating bullets.
Yeah, and you gotta be around people who understand that you're not gonna always look 100 on camera, or maybe you're gonna sound like, I don't love my accent, and like it has really been coming out lately, and people really have been clocking me for it.
I don't hear anything.
Really?
I seriously do.
You know why? Because we have the same accent. Because we're both from the sticks. That's why. But that's really why we sound. Do you get that too? Do you get like, where are you from?
That would happen to me back when I was living in Washington State. I lived there for a little over a year, and the first time someone heard me say "y'all," everybody stopped and said, "Okay, so where are you from?" I'm from Alabama.
You say that? I say, I'm from New York. Duh. And they're like, wait, that really trips them up. Like, New York? What do you mean? I'm like, come on, you can't hear it? And then I'm like, no, Tennessee. So I have really bad ADHD, like really bad. I will be all over the place, and my stories run into another story, and I cut people off, and I don't mean to. It's not like, it's just the way my brain works. I was actually on the phone with an ex. He wasn't my ex at the time, but I was on the phone with him, and I had literally, again, tried to get so many people to do this podcast. We have done little mock podcasts on that YouTube channel, like, like a mock podcast with a couple of my friends, and just nothing ever really hit. Nobody ever wants to dedicate the time, because it is time consuming. I don't think people really understand.
It is.
And especially if you do everything. I know you have a podcast. I'm going to get into that too, but you understand, especially if you're doing everything. And I'm pretty sure you are with it. You're the host, you're all of it. Your sound, your video,
the editor, the graphics,
you're the cameraman, you're everything. And I don't think people understand how much really goes into it. And so a lot of people, once they realize that, give it up, and it does become monotonous sometimes, or it does become like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this right now. Just like you don't want it to be a job, but it kind of, if you want to have any sort of following, or you want to have any sort of relevance, or you really want to share stuff like that, like you got to, it's going to get monotonous like anything else, right? So finding somebody who wants to do that and to put the time into it's hard. And then other people who are afraid of backlash? Could you get people who are trolls are gonna troll, and people are gonna say things, and people aren't gonna agree with what you have to say, but sometimes that actually works in your favor. I'm just saying.
And you'll have those people that whenever you talk about a story, that they are the Facebook historians.
Oh,
they will go 20 hours of nothing but going into a library and making sure that every
clocking everything you say.
Everything.
And I'm very honest with stuff. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. And honestly, I'm not gonna fight with anybody about it, because you probably do know more than me, because I don't care enough to research like that. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't. So I'm always just like, because again, with my paranormal stuff or whatever, that's all. I don't care if anybody can verify or validate what I have going on. I know my life is a paranormal TV show, right? So,
hashtag.
Yeah, exactly. So I was on the phone with this boy, and I was like, I've just got to come up with a name now. I was like, I did it. I got my mics. I've got everything. I just have to come up with a name. He's like, okay. So we're like shooting the shit over the phone, and then we were talking about something else, and all of a sudden he said, wait, stop. Went back, and I was like, I said, you have to do like Heidi. So in my ghost group, I think you met Heidi. In my old ghost group, Heidi used to, because I am ADHD real bad all over the place. And I get like this. I'm like, okay, now we do this and do it. Which way do we go? Like, that's how I am. Like, I'm crazy energy. So she would go, squirrel, squirrel, like that, right? So I said that. I was like, you have to start doing like Heidi would do to me, and be like, hey, squirrel, squirrel. And he's like, that's your name. And I was like, squirrel? He's like, no, just call it Squirrels. Like, because I was like, I don't know what to talk about, because it wasn't going to be paranormal either. It was like, gonna be like whatever the fuck is on my brain. Like, I literally do so much, and so it could be so many different things. I didn't want to like niche it to one thing, and I hadn't really been doing paranormal like that then, so it wasn't going to be that so much. It kind of has turned into that a little more, but so that's where Squirrels came from. So it's just basically Kristina and I are very our parents don't like when we like to say neurodivergent, because they like to feel like we're perfect. I mean, we are, okay? But they don't like when we say maybe we have a little bit of like the autism on the spectrum. They don't like us saying that. But I mean, we kind of know. There's certain things you do that you kind of know, you know? And so we're a little neurodivergent, and we kind of are all over the place. So it just kind of worked.
Say every parent believes that every child is perfect. So
I mean, even Charles Manson's maybe. I don't know, did he? I don't know. Holy shit. So yeah, that's where Squirrels came from. And then, yeah, so here we are. It's kind of turned into a little paranormal podcast, not 100, but like we talk a lot about paranormal, which again, going back to when we first started doing this, we thought about you because you have a podcast. And I knew that you took a break from it for a minute.
I did. I took a break from it because basically life got in the way.
That happens.
Going through job stuff. I was a full-time student at one time, which I graduated this past December.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I tell you what, that
hard
was
work.
Almost 2 years of going through that, and was actually able to finish that up early because I had turned in stuff that mapped toward my degree, so there's a whole semester I didn't have to take.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
So that really worked out. But it's been kind of weird for me because while at the same time I do still do a lot of different kind of researches, watching a lot of different stuff, just kind of, seeing something online like, hey, what's this about? And just kind of delving a little more deeper into it. There's things that I want to be able to talk about, but at the same time it's like, yes, I could talk about it, but who's listening? And I think that's one of the things that has kind of pushed me back from a little bit. 'Cause, I mean, within the past week, or maybe a little bit longer than the past month, I've redone the logos. I've gone on YouTube, redone all that information.
That's a lot of fun to do too. And when you refresh and redo, it's kind of the fun part about it. I feel like
I took care of all of that. I just haven't recorded anything. But there's things I want to discuss. I just haven't taken the time to actually sit down and just say, okay, I'm doing it today. Nothing's going to keep me from it. Go ahead and make it happen.
You got to do the schedule. That's
right.
When you do this, anything, I would say like content create, I guess, if you want to call it, you definitely have to have a schedule and you got to adhere to it. Actually, the funny thing is Kristina and I did that. So right before she went to Europe, we had done an episode and we kind of squeezed it in, kind of a last minute thing, but we scheduled it, and we had like a week in between the scheduling. And we both got up that day, not even telling each other this because we would, but like we've kept, we were like, we're going to do this. We're not going to have that day. They're like, fuck, I don't feel like doing it today. Because we did that so many times before, right? So I was like, we both get up that day and both of us were feeling off. And usually if one of us we both are. So neither one of us said anything. And when she got here, I could tell she was off. And we sat here for however long, but it's like our last episode was so good. I was like, I'm not putting that shit out there. I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch it. When I picked her up from the airport on the way, when I took her and our friends and her boyfriend and stuff to the airport in Miami. So we talked about it and they're literally like, yeah, Cal, if you don't think it's good, don't post it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm still going to watch it. And I mean, I know we had a couple good points of something. And then on the way back, I was like, yeah, I didn't even watch it. Fuck it. I'm trashing it because of that. Like,
I kid you not. There is an episode that I recorded with the guest that I have not even edited it. It's still sitting on my old laptop. I've after the recording, I haven't even gone back and watched it. Not that it wasn't good. It was actually a good episode, but just the part of me that had to do with taking the time to actually
like,
put it all together just
sometimes it's heavy.
Wasn't in me.
Sometimes it's heavy, or sometimes it's just like I feel the defeat a little bit on the like who the fuck's watching, why, you know?
Exactly.
And you're not trying to be like whatever about it. It's like, but like I don't know how to explain that feeling. I know what you're talking about because I mean, you expect a certain thing. I'm on like these groups of the people in like where I host the podcast, and people are like, I only got 5,000 views. What am I doing wrong? I'm like,
I wish I had
5,000, bitch. What are you talking about? I'm lucky to get 50. What are you talking
I'd
about?
be doing
like,
good with 50.
You
Like,
know,
man,
that's
if
what
I
I'm
had
saying.
50, I'd be on cloud 9
Me
with 50.
too. I said the fuck five. My first episode only got 5,000 views. What am I doing wrong? I thought. I don't even have a combined of that, and like, what are you talking about?
Like, tell me what you're
like,
doing.
Could you mark it for me, by the way, because I'll take the 5,000. We
Right,
can switch places anytime right now if you like.
I absolutely. If 5,000 people were hearing it, then that's 5,000 people who are, hearing something about some crazy history stuff. I'm like, hey, that's great.
Like, bro, I was excited when I had 10 downloads. Okay, I was so excited on Buzzsprouts where I host. I was like, I'm so excited. It says, it's like, congratulations, you have 10 downloads. Now I'm like, oh my god,
oh my goodness,
people are downloading it. I like the video. I like a video podcast better though. I like to watch. I mean, a lot of times I listen, but if I look over, I might want to like. I'm very weird with it though. I've participated in so many of these though, and I know I'm gonna get hate. Sorry, but I don't care. Sorry, not sorry. I hate a Zoom podcast. And I've been on a lot of them. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I don't
think I've been on Zoom. I think the ones that I've been on was Riverside.
Whatever they are. I hate it. Like, not this. I need this. The on screen is like, everybody's got different video qualities, and it fucks me being a visual person. You're a video person, when you see that, and then the person comes in and they got all the shit in the background and it's grainy and I'm like, really? Like, you literally are sitting on a podcast like that? Like, you are a podcast guest like that? Like, please, like, so I can't, as soon as I see that, and again, I've been on some of them and I'm just like,
see, I'm redoing mine. I'm doing it in a way to where at first I thought that I was actually going to be showing the guest, but what I'm wanting to do is I've actually created a logo that's like a video logo. So the stuff's going to be on YouTube as far as like the main.
Yeah, that's how we do this. Yeah,
it's going to be on YouTube, but what you're going to see instead of people is you're going to see a graphic logo that I created just for the video cast itself, and then the actual podcast logo in the corner. So cool. You won't actually see me or the person, but you will hear us talking.
You'll hear you talking. I got you. Yeah, and then my friends tell me, like, why don't you do an episode by yourself? And I'm like, how do you do it? I mean, I know people do it, but how do you do an episode do you usually do yours by yourself?
I've done half of them by myself, and the other half I did with a previous co-host. Which I say previous because
and was a girl, and she's a witchy girl
in Alabama. Yeah.
I kind of remember that. Okay, that's what I remember. Okay.
And I when I say previous, I don't mean as in she's dropped it or anything like that. It's just because I haven't done it in so long. We just haven't collaborated.
Yeah, I got
further.
You.
But yeah, she would do it from her cell phone.
Okay, I got you.
and I would do it from just behind the PC.
Yeah, I feel
most
you.
of the time. But like I said, we did that. That was only half of that done, but the other half was me doing a Halloween series, and that was comprised about maybe 7 or 8 episodes, where each one discussed like 2 or 3 things, but had to do with like history of like Halloween stuff, not from America, but from UK, and how much it kind of transformed until it got
and influenced over
how
here.
much it influenced over here. And all those I think I did by myself.
Okay.
And so as I was talking or whatnot, it was me hitting pause, me taking a break, and then cussing and grabbing water, and then coming back to it, and then hitting record.
Okay.
But I did several of those, but like I said, yeah, the other half was just between me and her doing.
So it's kind of like whenever I would just sit and do a vlog. It's the same thing. It's just on a mic, basically on a podcast mic. Instead of just holding a camera out here vlogging, you're just in your space with them. It's the same, basically.
It's the same thing.
I got you. Okay. So yeah, I'm still learning. One thing about me is I am not a historian. I am not a researcher. I love Kristina for that. I know that you do that stuff too. I am not about that at all. I kind of just go by like what's in my Delulu brain, and I go by like what I just kind of feel and know, like even with my spirituality and stuff. Like I remember people will be like, oh, you've read this book, right? Or you've done this, or I'm like, I don't know anything like that. It's just I'm going by what my soul feels. So I kind of write out things like that, but I like to end up I like to know somebody who will do the history and give me the history so I can know. But I don't retain information like that. Like I can watch a movie today and watch it again tomorrow and the next day. I've watched Wicked 200 times, at least Barry. Probably 200 times. How many days has it been out? You'd multiply that, and because some days I watch it twice in a day. I've watched that movie at least 200 times, and there are still things I'm like, oh shit, this happens.
Well, I'll give you a little information here. Whenever I was doing the histories of the different stuff, it's not anything that I'll remember like a really huge piece of it, but then the rest of the stuff I don't even remember anymore, because a lot of the times when I was doing the episodes, I was reading something off the side.
I got you. Like your note cards or something.
Like note cards, that way I could kind of reference back to it. But if someone were to, come to me now and say, hey, what was all the history of that? Well, I could hit like the highlights, but the rest of it, I couldn't tell you.
Man, Kristina can tell you from a different, like in 1841, 76, and this person and this person and this person. I'm like, how do you remember all of that? Like my brain, I think I'm getting old too. So like, I just dump it, or I don't know. But, so I am very, very, very intrigued by this whole Annabelle doll situation. Are you familiar with what's going on right now?
Yes, I've actually been doing a little bit of research on that stuff.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny that was happening at the same time I was doing this other research, because I was looking into some stuff before the plantation burned down.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of, well, I think I had mentioned it to you before, the show that's called Paranormal State.
Yeah, I said I hadn't seen it, because a little fun fact about me, again, with like feeling stuff, is that most people assume I know, like, for example, they're like, oh, you've seen this with Zach Baggins, or I'm like, I don't even know who that is. And they're like, what? You were in a paranormal group and you don't know who Zach Baggins is? And I'm like, so I remember like when I met you, Squirrel Brain, we'll circle right back to that in one moment. When I met Michael, we were hosting a paranormal event at the Cromartie house, and Michael came, and I knew he had a camera, and he was a podcaster, and I loved that, because we had just started a paranormal group, and I'm like, look what the universe gives us. It gives us somebody that's got a camera, because none of us want to film anything, and we got, so I look at stuff like that as utilities and tools, right? So I was like, oh, we met this guy, we made this connection. You were pretty newly down here, right? You had just moved down here?
I had only been down here maybe since April.
Oh, you were new.
I was new.
New. So he literally had just moved down here. Do you know people down here, really?
I think I can count on both hands.
And are they people you knew before, or people since you've moved here?
Still both hands.
Okay, I got you. So you didn't really know a lot of people or whatever, and he was down here, and we were doing... Listen, this is not... It's only become a little phenomenon since like whatever, I don't know what show because I don't watch the shows, but ghost hunting is not like something that's super, it wasn't super cool, especially like until recently, right? So when you're doing this stuff to find other people to do it, it's kind of exciting and cool, you know, because out of all my friends, there's not many people that do it. So that's how I know Michael. And then we all started following each other on Instagram, and we've, I don't know if did you come to any more events after that? Did you come to the railroad ever? During the weekend?
I was going to.
I feel like you did. You didn't?
I was going to, and then something happened to where I don't think I got to.
Okay. By the way, War Party is hosting the railroad, so we could definitely go one night. Me and Kristina would love to go if you would like to go with us to do the Haunting on the Rails with War Party. And also May 30th.
What's going on May 30th?
Old Davy Schoolhouse. War Party is hosting Old Davy Schoolhouse, and Christina's aunt got off for it, I think. So I think we're going. If you want to go,
wow.
May 30th, Old Davy Schoolhouse, hosted by War Party. Shout out! No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. But we're gonna go. We're gonna get. We always wanted to investigate Old Davy Schoolhouse in that. So anyhow, back to your something with me with the paranormal stuff is I don't watch any paranormal stuff, and the main reason is I'll be like honest. I live a paranormal life. My life is a paranormal TV show / movie, and it doesn't add up to me. So and then being in a ghost group that I watched, basically did a little bit of performance, it shows me when you came to the Cromartie, did we have the girl there with the table or no? Have you ever seen the table girl down here?
Table girl? I
don't want to name her because I don't want anybody to. She's an older lady that has the table, and she's a medium with the table, and the table levitates or whatever.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay. That's who I feel like, what is her name? I never can get her first name right. I can't remember. Lorraine Warren reminds me of her. Oh. Lorraine Warren reminds me of her. Like, not, we're going to talk about her in a minute, by the way. Okay, so go back to your parent. What was this show called again?
It was called Paranormal State.
Okay, Paranormal State.
It was on A&E.
Okay.
I don't remember how many seasons it lasted for, but the reason why they called it that was because it was a guy and like a group of like 3 or 4 other people. They were college students at Penn State.
Okay.
But they were paranormal investigators on the side, so they called the show Paranormal State.
I got you.
The gentleman, I think his name might be Ryan or something along those lines. Well, that group doesn't exist anymore because they were there together as the group when they were still going to college.
Correct.
Half of them aren't even in the paranormal realm anymore.
Sure.
He, however, is, from what I'm understanding, is part of he has some kind of association with the Ed and Lorraine Warren Foundation.
Hilarious, because I didn't even know you were going to bring that part up. But go ahead.
Yeah, they were. He's a part of that organization, and he's been like associated with the Annabelle tours that's been going on.
This is so crazy. Okay.
And after the situation with the plantation burning, you see, I follow him on Facebook. I've only been following him on Facebook for maybe a week. I didn't even know that he was even still doing anything. Okay,
and he's the guy that was in part of the Paranormal State.
He was the guy.
He's the only one that's still involved with it, basically.
Well, the lady that there was like half the group doesn't do anything with that anymore. I got you. The other half they still do, but I don't connect with them. I got you.
It's just they're there, right? And you just happened to see it and was like, oh, cool, let me follow this guy because he's from this.
Because of the show, I was like, oh, hey, I hadn't seen this guy in years. And after the plantation had burned down, he had made a Facebook post saying, hey, guys, just to let you know, we know that Annabelle's been going here and there, but during the time the place burned down, she was not there during that time. So he tried to give like a PA statement saying that
she had already left New Orleans at the time, or she wasn't there yet.
That that city that the plantation had burned down, he's like, she was not in that city.
Okay, yeah. Because she was on... She was in the French Quarter.
I think that's where...
Yeah, because I saw it, and I freaked out a little bit, so I have an 808 thing. Like, I see the number 808 all the time, and my nieces, a lot of people around me, it's even on my birth certificate, funny enough, stamped really big. I have a story about that previously, but when I saw them putting her into the ghost city, whatever it was called, they were taking her in there, and the guy's, like, doing holy water and stuff, and then the door next to it said 809. I was like, bitch is not going in 808, is she? She better not be going in 808, is she? But I literally looked up the address physically. It's 809. I'm like, okay, it wasn't 808. Yeah, sure, 808. Please don't be connected to Annabelle, please. But because me and the haunted doll, that's why I have my haunted doll out here. One of them.
I asked myself the question: if Ed and Lorraine were still here, would that doll have ever left that spot that they had that doll in? Because this is just me personally. I could be wrong. Other people may think differently. But I asked myself, is it really such a good idea if that doll does have something attached to it to be putting it personally on a tour for other people to be around it? How much? I mean, it's almost like, how much can the doll have the ability to mess something up being inside of whatever encasing that it has? You know, how far is the reach?
I feel you, because, you know, we have Robert the doll. Have you seen Robert the doll down here? Have you done it? Have you went there?
I know of the story, but I haven't been down there to see it.
Have you wanted to go see it?
That has been on my mind, yes.
Let's go. I'm down. I will day trip. I will drive. I will day trip overnight, whatever you want. I will go see Robert. I have not, nobody wants to go see Robert the doll with me. I've tried to get Kristina to go. She's so busy, but I will go see Robert the doll. I would fly right now to New Orleans for the day to see Annabelle if she was still there. Now she's in Texas, by the way. But I have a whole thing about this. First of all, I always want to call Lorraine Eileen for some reason. I don't know why. Like, come on, Eileen. Anyhow, I always want to call her that. So if I do, my bad. Again, I'm not a professional. I didn't even know when I started ghost hunting. I didn't even know who these people were. They're like, I hear everybody talking about them, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so I come home and I look them up. I'm like, oh, these are the fucking Conjuring people. Like, what? Like,
right.
Okay, those movies to me.
I mean, I get that it's based upon cases, but I also get that they're going to, for lack of a better term, add Hollywood to it.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so it's like it's the same Chucky story, but okay. So it's like, for me, those kind of movies I watch them, but either I don't remember what happened because I kind of was just like watching them, like passing by, but I couldn't tell you what happened. Like, the only one out of all those movies that I know they were involved with is maybe like the Amityville Horror, because I grew up with that with my mom and my grandpa. Like, they were horror buffs, and I grew up like watching the old version of that, the original, and knowing it was based on a true story, and then knowing the stuff that happened to me as a kid in my grandparents' house, because that's where 808. Their house was 808, by the way. Their house number was 808.
Okay.
And I'm born on my uncle's birthday, who was born there, you know, like that was his home, and his wife's birthday is 808, and then all of us see 808, and then my grandma is the one I used to play Ouija with. That's what my planchette on my arm is for, and like this 808 keeps showing up. And then on my birth certificate, when I had to renew my passport last year, I noticed stamped on the very top of my birth certificate is the number 0808, like in big black letters. My haunted doll, her history goes back to 1808. You know, the city gates in St. Augustine. I'm very drawn to St. Augustine, and the city gates. I've been there since 1808.
I want to go to that place. I still haven't been.
You have not been to St. Augustine? Why? What?
I have not.
Holy shit balls. You have to go to, oh my God. You have to go to St. Augustine. You have to go to St. Augustine. Oh, I mean, I will go.
I still want to go.
I'm an adventurer. I don't know if you, like, I'm a mad adventurer. I will go. I'm a road trip. That's only a few hours too. Like, that's not bad at all. It's in St. Augustine is so good. Like, it's so good. Like, especially if you like video and stuff. So, yeah, I don't watch the paranormal stuff. So I don't know where I was. The squirrel brain again. I don't know what all that was about. But the Warrens. Okay. So if I say like somebody's name wrong, I'm sorry. I didn't even know who they were until I started getting into paranormal. Again, my life is a paranormal movie. I don't need to see the made up stuff. So I did, like anybody else, didn't know the Annabelle doll was actually a Raggedy Ann doll until like I got into the paranormal world. Okay. Because actually AJ, he had some friends of ours or whatever, and we were talking about the Annabelle, and he said something like he had seen the Annabelle doll, and he's showing me pictures of this Raggedy Ann doll. And I'm like,
you're like, what's this?
The fuck is this? And this is somebody that's I've considered professional paranormal investigator, whatever.
It's funny. I don't even believe in that term.
Me either. It's stupid as fuck.
I don't believe in that term.
It's fucking stupid, and I don't know how to like go about it. Like, I feel almost stupid that I was, but when I was in a paranormal group, you feel the thing is it gets you into places better. So here's the thing, like, just have your group of friends make a little fucking group name and say, oh, we're paranormal. Everybody puts in fucking $50. They're gonna let you in for fucking $500. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna happen. But anyhow, it's just, honestly, I have my thoughts on it too, but I just feel like it's just a bunch of, anyhow, I agree with you. So, I didn't even know, like, the Annabelle doll was a Raggedy Ann doll, okay? I was like, girl, what? Like, I had a Raggedy Ann doll. Like, who didn't have a fucking Raggedy Ann doll, you know? So, it makes sense. The story goes, and I don't know, do you know the story behind the Raggedy Ann doll and the Annabelle story?
All I know is that the doll is, supposedly possessed.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know how it got.
Okay, perfect. I am so proud of myself. I know Kristina is hollering right now because she is like, holy shit, Cal has some history, because I'm usually not the historian. So the Annabelle doll, I don't know the years, okay? If somebody does, put them down there. So basically, Annabelle, the Raggedy Ann doll, was given to a girl by her mom as a birthday gift. She was in college, and her college roommate started noticing the Raggedy Ann doll was like moving around and like would just kind of show up in random places in the house, and like the door shut with the Raggedy Ann, like it would move like rooms, even like not just move rooms. And so they got a little bit nervous and stuff. Oh, no. At first, they found out that it had like a girl, like a spirit attached to it, a little girl. So they felt bad or whatever. So they allowed it to be attached to it, or allowed it, but it started doing like weird shit. So they threw it in the trash, basically took it outside and put it in the dumpster. And then,
Oh, wow.
And then it appeared back in the house. And
Mom done ran outside to scare the girls and grab the doll and put it back in the bedroom.
We have no clue why, but yeah. And so then the doll starts leaving threatening notes on parchment paper. And so the girls get scared and they call a medium, which ends up being Lorraine Warren,
Okay.
to come check out this doll. Now, this happened in about 1970-ish, or the early 70s. So they Ed and Lorraine determine that the doll is possessed by a demon, a 7-year-old demon named Annabelle, and I can't remember the last name because I didn't bring my notes with me, but it's whatever. Her name's Annabelle. The demon's name is Annabelle. It inhabits the doll, and they explain that if the doll stayed around, it's that a demon doesn't want to inhabit something. It's inhabiting something so that it can then get into someone, correct? So they needed to take this doll, basically, or the girls needed to get rid of the doll because the demon in it was trying to either get into the daughter or the friends or whatever. So they take the doll. Now, if you know about the Warrens, Ed is considered a self-proclaimed demonologist.
Right.
And Lorraine is a medium.
Right.
Okay. And they are what The Conjuring is about. Even the Amityville, I never could say that 100% right, horror is based around them too. You know, they came to the house to, they were the ones that came to the house to say that it was possessed and everything too. So they're tied to all that stuff, the Nun, but that's more Hollywood. They are tied to the Conjuring and the Amityville. That's their like claim to fame. So, they take this doll and they make it basically the centerpiece of their museum. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, this doll, by the way, is now on a tour from the museum, like you said. So if it would have left the museum, like, did they put it in the museum to keep it from causing havoc because it caused all this havoc? Okay. So, like you said, if they were alive, would the doll be moving around? Probably not. Okay. And now this doll went on tour. It first went to West Virginia, to the West Virginia penitentiary that is very haunted and is closed down. I don't really know why they just sat it in there. That's kind of weird. I guess probably for the tours. I think they do tours there.
Yeah, I think
so that's probably what it was for, to showcase her and so that you could see. Because I mean, when I heard about this being in New Orleans, I'm like, girl, that's only like $100 flight away. Girl, I could day trip there. You know, I would totally do it.
Get a selfie with the doll.
Yeah, yeah, right. Robert the doll says you can't even take pictures of him. Like, they say that crazy things happen to you. So I'm like, okay. And there is story about like Annabelle, like while she was in the museum, a guy like was basically knocking on the glass and acting crazy and saying like, oh, well, demon possessed me. And apparently him and his girlfriend were there. Apparently they got in a head-on motorcycle collision on the way home. He died. They hit a tree, not a head-on. He hit a tree. He died immediately, and it took her over a year to heal. Like, that's part of the Annabelle story with that. And then, you know, people's stuff burning, and you know, you hear things like that. Okay, so all those little spooky stories, cool. So now she went to New Orleans. She went to the French Quarter. Next thing we know, this, and I wish I could go get my. Hey Barry, would you grab my computer off the desk, my laptop? Not off the desk, off the dining room table, please. Because them this shit you're not going to believe in a minute. So Kristina and I are talking.
Put the doll back.
Well, yes, but I'm gonna get into. I have a bombshell to open up. Like, I have something that's gonna. I've never heard this before, and I've never heard any. Listen, I worked in that paranormal community for a couple years, okay, and people talk about Annabelle. That's one of the things they talk about because we have famous Robert the doll down here. So everybody's like, "Oh, Annabelle, we got Robert the doll down here." So that's always a big topic at every. I did a lot of those events, like not just ours. We went to war party events. We went to whatever events we could go, you know, like whatever. Or we were at the railroad once a month on the Saturday, and people come through and they talk about that stuff, right?
Right.
So it's like you would hear a lot about it, but I never heard the stuff that I'm about to. I'm so excited, but like I gotta get my brain together. So Kristina and I are talking about it this morning, and I've been seeing it on TikTok a lot, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" This doll is in New Orleans, which is one of the top 3 haunted places in America. Okay. And then you've got all the, you know, all the voodoo and you got all that there. So this doll goes to New Orleans for 2 days. And this plantation that was like this atrocious, crazy, bad, demonic shit happening place. Demon on earth shit happening on place. Hell on earth. Burns completely to the fucking ground, okay? And if you've seen any of the pictures or videos, I don't give a fuck what nobody says.
I've seen pictures of it.
You see spirits. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. You see spirits. You see straight up shadow outlines of people. Now, I know AI is crazy, so you got to be, I know, I get it. But I see shadows, so I'm telling you, I feel it. I go by feelings. We talked about feelings earlier. I have a feeling about the fire. I think it was set on purpose, but there's a whole thing behind that. My conspiracy. So we're talking about that. Kristina says, I'm going to actually read what she said, because I was like, okay, I didn't think about it like this.
So do you think it was arson or something else?
Well, yeah, I think it was arson 100%. I think it was, but I think it's to keep the story. So okay, so hold on. Let me find Kristina here real quick, because I don't have my phone over there. Okay, so she says, she sends this picture, and you can, I'm being so fucking for real. You can see, I showed it to people who don't even, fuck me. Sorry. Okay. I have a potty mouth. I'm so sorry. That's just who I am. My goodness, everything's going to open up like, girl. You can't tell me you don't see people in here? Like, you don't see that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
don't think I've seen that photo.
Oh shit! Here, let me pass this to you for a second. So, and if you zoom into this photo, you can truly see. I'll post it too. Come on, girl, like me and the laptop. I'm telling. Didn't I talk about me and electronics earlier? I said me and electronics are so crazy. How to make this bigger, girl? Yeah, this photo you can 100% see, and if you look all over it from the ground up, like. Let me zoom in. You can see it. Even in the flames in the top, you see so many different. Look.
That's just weird.
Look at all that. Now you're gonna mess it. You see. So you can see several, I mean, you see it, like, and I get it, but like, I've seen that everywhere, and I've seen a little video of it, and you can see, I gotta find the videos of it, but I mean,
Wow.
that's, if you don't see that in that, I feel like you don't want to see. Have you seen this? It's crazy.
I have not seen that photo.
Yeah, so then Kristina starts explaining, and then after this,
Wow.
by the way, after this, we have 11 inmates that had the help of somebody inside, which I don't think they've named who helped inside of this prison, this maximum security murderer fucking prison, that just 11 convicts just escape with the help of somebody that's unnamed.
What?
You haven't heard about this either?
So
in New Orleans, they have 11 convicts that escaped right when this happened too, the day after, that are, 8 of them are on the loose, like killers, murderers, while Annabelle was in town. These two things happened. So, but Kristina says this. She says, I was like, please tell me she's not an 808. she says she's in Texas now, but I don't think Annabelle is evil at all. They brought her to New Orleans and one of the last plantations that was built by slaves and was one of the worst for torture burned down. Tell me how many spirits you see in this photo. She said, them spirits are free. It burned to the ground. There's people saying they think she got locked up because she was attacking bad people in sheep's clothing, appearing as good. And now that she's on the move again, she's back to balancing the scales. She said, I got to see where she's going after Texas. I looked, by the way, I can't find that out. She says, and then I said, yeah. She said, yeah, I think it's weird. They're only doing like 1 or 2 days in each location. It feels like for wrong reasons, but Annabelle might like being out after being locked up all of this time by the Warrens. Haunted dolls tend to be misunderstood. And then when she's talking about something else, but that's fucking crazy. That is, so we have the convicts that are out on the loose right now in New Orleans. You can look it up. And that happened. So I start laying like, well, this is a really interesting topic considering it's hot right now. We've talked about the haunted dolls here. And then, your podcast has to do with like little ghost stories and stuff, correct? Like ghost stories, witchy stories, just stories.
The stories, yeah.
So I thought like, the Annabelle story just kind of fit into kind of that. And so I started researching. So I'm like, if I'm going to really talk about this and my historian isn't here, let me just look it up, right? Like, let me truly look it up. And this is when I find all of this out, right? And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I have a haunted doll, and I will tell you, this is the only one I can confirm is quote unquote haunted. She came to me as a haunted doll. Dolly's sitting over there. We picked her up at a little flea market, and I mean, if I'm going to be 100% transparent, because that's who I am, I don't truly believe Dolly is haunted, okay? I think she looks a little rustic. I think she works well for, I don't know, a ghost group doing something in a haunted spot and doing some video of her. And I think she worked good for that because that's what she was bought for, to be honest, like in essence. So I don't feel like she's haunted. I do feel like if anything, her and Kristina have a little bond, but maybe we've just created that. This came to me from Haunted Honeys. I bought her.
That's a website?
It's somebody on Instagram that I follow that she has a little website, and she's got haunted dolls. Now,
oh wow, okay,
the only validation to anything is you're just believing what somebody says.
True. Okay.
My alignment with this doll was that she looks like a picture of my sister when she was a little girl on the farm like that. And then the 1808, when I read that, I was actually in Casadega when I bought her online. I was with Arnie in Casadega doing something. You know what Casadega is?
I've heard of it.
It's a spiritualist camp in Florida. It's the largest psychic medium camp, which just means like a lot of people live there, in the world, actually. It's here in Central Florida. Yeah, it's very, very cool. It's a very cool spot. I'm telling you, you should research that too. Cameraman, great. We could do that too one day. I'm down. So Arnie and I went, and so I ended up buying her online that night, like after we did whatever the 1808 got me. I will say that since she has arrived, I do have the presence of a small child in my home.
Okay.
Because she is a small child, is what I've been told. And I have had the presence of that. I do have a few little proof things, but like, and I'm the one that sees her. And I have a mimic in my house now. And mimics are typically, in my opinion, dark or bad. But I think if you had, say, like a 3-year-old child following you around, children mimic a parent. That's how they learn. So the mimic in my house, I don't feel like is bad or dark. I feel like it's the little girl, because I'll hear my voice, calling my dog. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So it's not, it's like Roxy, you know, and I'm like, that's how I knew it was like, the fuck, what? That's me.
Like, man, if I heard something like that at my brother's house.
Really? Yeah. No, but I've heard. So that I do believe there is some truth to this. Okay. I am a very big skeptic on haunted dolls. Okay. So I start digging down the rabbit hole. I've never heard this about Annabelle ever.
Until now.
So listen to this shit. You are going to die. 7 years before the Warrens got this doll, told these girls that this doll was a haunted 7-year-old girl by the name of Annabelle. There was an episode that came out on the Twilight Zone, episode 163, I believe. It's on my notes in there. I think it's 163. Came out in 1963. The episode was called The Living Doll. In the episode, the mom, named Annabelle, buys a doll that talks, like a little chatty Cathy doll. I don't know the name of it now, but you pull a string and she talks. Kind of like Chucky, actually. Bought her daughter, and this is a Twilight Zone episode. Do you know what Twilight Zone is?
Oh, yeah. I watched a lot of that.
Okay, so you understand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the Twilight Zone, black and white, by the way.
Black and white.
I grew up on that, and I actually kind of remember this episode when it hit. I was like, but you know, you didn't put everything together. So I go and research this. So in 1963, it's episode 160 something. I feel like it's 62 or 63. The mother, named Annabelle, buys this doll for her daughter, but the stepdad is like, oh, the daughter has so many dolls, this is ridiculous, and this one talks and gets on his nerves, right? So he gets upset, and he gets upset with the doll, and he talks shit about the doll, and the doll, he throws the doll in the trash, and the doll comes back, and he fights with the mom about saying that she is behind this, because the doll starts leaving threatening notes for him, and he blames the mom because he thinks she's doing it because he was bitching at her about the doll. That's the fucking story, bro. That is the Annabelle story. So for me, the Warrens, we know, are already, I mean, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. We already know they're frauds. I'm sorry. I mean, it's been proven over and over. Do you know?
I didn't want to say anything.
Do you know that we literally don't even realize that they made so much money off of the Amityville stuff, okay? And do you know that the people who bought the house that, you know, the newest movie is, and I think the original movie is based upon the couple that bought the house, I can't remember their name now, but do you know those people have come out and said, like, they've been also, like, nothing happened in those 4 weeks they were there. They were at the house for 4 weeks, and they said all this stuff happened, and it never really happened, okay? They were going with the Warrens, basically, to make this story up. There is never anything, even the boy, the original boy that murdered his family, because that's true. There was a boy that murdered, I can't remember his name either, but he murdered his family. That's a true story about that house. That happened in that house, okay?
Okay.
The boy was hearing voices. Schizophrenia does that. Reality. And he was told to murder his family, and he, with a shotgun, killed his parents, and he killed his 4 siblings. Okay? And he was the oldest. He was like 23 or 26. I can't remember. And that's a true story. Okay? And the house did sit vacant for a long time until this other family bought it. But there are no records that the husband and the wife and whatever that we know from that point on, the story that we see on TV. There's no record of them actually. It's all for television. There's no record of them ever calling the police. There's no record. They only lived there 4 weeks. That was it. Okay. They wanted to get out of it. And they have even, like, they are now not even, like, if it's talked about, they're not even considered as, like, part of the ownership of it because they fake so much of it. And the guy that's in jail for killing his family, I feel like he died in a few years ago, like 2021 or something. But he finally said that was all for hoax. That was all basically for his insanity plea to get out of like a death sentence or to get a lesser penalty. So the Warrens over and over have been proven. There's so many different things I don't need to go into, but they've been proven to be fraud. I mean, they just have. I mean, and then we don't even need to talk about Ed having a fucking 15-year-old mistress that in their contracts, Ed and Lorraine actually Lorraine's contract. It's Lorraine's contract it's written in with the television for the Amityville and the Conjuring and etc. That it says in her contract specifically, and if you hadn't done some weird fucking shit, it says that they cannot be depicted at all on screen as having extramarital affairs or sexual relations with minors. Who puts that in a clause in your contract?
That's the weirdest something I think I've ever heard of it.
What the fuck? So these paranormal people are walking around on the coattails of the Warrens that are fucking fraudsters, and you want people to fucking think you're for fucking real? Like, get the fuck out of here. And you go around like they're like your biblical fucking figures. You're following around like Ed and I keep wanting to call her fucking Eileen because it's probably like, come on, Eileen, fuck you, dumb bitch. So it's just like, I just feel like they're the biggest fucking fraudsters. And actually, that's what we base. I live paranormal. I live where I see a fucking person. St. Augustine, I fucking see people. Like, I see dead people. I see people, full on fucking people, you know? I see shadows. And so people that want to like mark it up for Hollywood like that, or people who take like mediums that take money for it, I personally have issues with that. So we find out these people are fake, and now we find out that I feel like with that, knowing that with the Annabelle thing, first of all, the Annabelle doll, is this all made up? Like, is it? Because at that point, that story from the Twilight Zone is the Annabelle doll. It's exactly what the Warrens told these girls, and that's their story. Now, maybe they started being like, you know how it's like, I'm just kidding, like Jason, unless you're gonna do it. Like, it was one of those things like, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But there's truth in joking, right? So what if they told the story thinking like, back then, who really watched the Twilight Zone back in 1970? Most people were like scared of that shit, okay?
I didn't think anybody would put 2 and 2 together.
Thank you. And so all they had to do was be like, if somebody said something, be like, oh, it was a joke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they figured it out, like, of course. Like, it's like me taking... This is poo-poo, by the way. I've never introduced poo-poo anywhere in public. I've had poo-poo since the day I was born. Okay, obviously. But poo-poo, I've had boyfriends that are like, get that demon the fuck out this bedroom. What is wrong with you? You sleep with this teddy bear every night. That shit is possessed. You have planchette on your arm. Are you kidding me? Like, you know what I mean? It's like me walking around like, oh, yeah, he's got the spirit of my grandmother with me. Because, like, could I make it believable? Probably. But, like... There's my Raggedy Ann. I'm just saying, like, I don't know how much I believe the Annabelle story now. After I saw that, I'm like, so to make this story a little better, what if we just torch a plantation, and what if we just let out a few inmates to like make it seem a little creepier?
No, I could see that being. No, I could definitely see that being something that somebody would do just to try to amplify the situation.
I mean, Michael, honestly, I could not even believe, like, the Twilight Zone. Here it is. Episode, here. The Twilight Zone, Living Doll, full cast and crew. It said episode, I looked it up. Wait, episode what? 1963. cast and crew right here. It's called The Living Doll. I'll let you scroll if you want. And if you look at the cast right here, look at the name of the mom.
Annabelle.
Look, and if you read what it's about, go read. Look, read what it's about. I died. I fucking died. I could not believe it. Like when you go up and read what it's about, I literally was like, "You are kidding me."
Wow.
This is the Annabelle story. Because it would be different if I like heard the Annabelle, but I went and I researched it today to make sure. You know what I mean? Because I was like, well, if I'm going to talk about it, let me go and do a little bit of research. Because Christina's always the historian, so let me go research. Look, she wants Michael. Look at her. Oh, baby.
Hey, puppy.
But that's fucking unbelievable, is it not?
I guarantee you something was pulled off that story and they thought that nobody would go looking for it.
Amen. And you know what? Also, it's 7 years, and they said it was a 7-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? Like the sevens, like I don't know. I feel like that. I truly believe they took that story from the Twilight Zone and just made it, just ran with it. And it became very successful for them. It became what we are talking about. This how many years? 1970. We are talking about this how many years later about this fucking Raggedy Ann doll that we think is torching fucking plantations, and we think is letting inmates out, and now it's going on a. It's a money maker. It's been a money maker, and the thing is it actually even anything attached to it?
And that's a good question because I remember, I remember. I know that in the movies where Conjuring and things of that nature, that the basement that has all the stuff in there, where they keep telling people who walk in there, yes, all these things are either something that was like a token or a piece that was involved in some kind of ritual, or something that was haunted. And you have to ask yourself, was it really, or did they just use that as a staple of who they were to keep the message spreading? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can get that. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what all was down there other than what you see on the movie. So I have no idea. But it's like, how much of it was real? How much did they just keep it going just to keep the phenomena of it going?
Well, I do know. They, in their museum, I've seen where Lorraine basically walks around talking about that everything in their museum, like she's not some tragic haunted doll, right? She's cute little 3-year-old girl died from an illness, and it's just it's life. That's life. You know what I mean? It's not like a murder or some crazy weird, tragic shit. It's not war. It's not, you know what I mean? But everything in they said everything in their museum comes from something very tragic and dark, demonic, possessed. Okay. So basically she was explaining how you don't move anything. Like you don't move anything because it's basically, if you move, you basically rock the boat in a sense, right?
Right.
Me, with the way I think energy works, I don't think you can just hold energy like that. I just don't think you can personally, I don't think you can just hold energy like that. I think energy might be attracted to something and that's where it feels comfortable. But I don't think you're going to trap it.
That reminds me of a recent episode, and this is not to call out the episode, the show called Ghost Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Bagans, he's the guy who's in charge of that team.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing this for years, have many, many seasons. One of the newer episodes that they had was where they did a 2-night investigation in the actual home where they filmed the movie Poltergeist.
Okay.
And I don't know how he was able to get a hold of it, but there's a scene in the movie where there is a clown doll. That the doll itself in the movie gets underneath someone's bed and like throws its arms out and tries to grab one of the kids and pull it underneath the bed.
Okay.
And on the actual Ghost Adventures show, they had a lady who came up who was supposed to be a medium, and Zach was like, "Hey, I got want to show you something. You may not have seen it before." Blah 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 blah. Had her eyes closed, brought up to the doll, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's the doll!" And then she tried to start explaining to them that there was actually a spirit attached to the doll, that the spirit was a good spirit. Mm-hmm. But that for the movie, he was told to not be good. And I asked myself, like, if there really is something attached to the doll.
Yeah.
And someone were to, like, a producer, someone were to come up to the doll and say, "Well, we know that there's a ghost inside here, but what we want to ask you to do is
Do tricks.
do tricks for us and be evil." If the thing is haunted by something, why would this ghost turn and look at him and say, "Okay,
You know what? Homie, we're good. Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what? Let's do it. That sounds
Right.
like a good time.
I don't get that."
It's not real. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be honest. That's
I don't
not
get that.
That's not real. Listen, this is why I can't watch those shows. Like, being honest with you, like the only one I've ever. And here's the thing: I can't follow any of them. It's not like I follow them. Like, oh yeah, I'm hardcore with this. Like, I watched the Ghost Brothers at one point because they fine. So that's the only reason why I watch them, and they're funny as fuck. Okay, so I liked just a few things, but I get like, especially someone who's worked in that stuff, like who's used the tools, who's seen like everybody with their DR60s paying $5,000 and $6,000 for that thing, and it's just like, and you're like, shh, did you hear that? I'm like, no,
No, how could you?
the fuck, what are you hearing? And you're like, what the fuck are you hearing? Like, but they live and die on that because it's part of the aesthetic. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. It's part of the aesthetic. There's certain things that are part of, just like the graveyards. Okay, everybody I know wants to be like, oh, we going to graveyard, we going to graveyard. Like, Gina, she's a love, like, graveyards. And listen, to me, I'm a barefoot grave walk. Like, energy, there is energy there, but I think you gotta be fucking delulu. Sorry. If you believe, well, you can't believe both. You cannot believe that your spirit leaves your body at death and believe you're sitting in a fucking graveyard 25, 50, 100 years later. That shit don't make no sense. So you have to believe that there is energy in graveyards, but you have to believe that's something different. And if you're sitting over John Smith's grave and you're like, oh, give me a sign if this is John Smith. And then the freaking thing goes beep, and you're like, oh God. It's probably, unless John Smith was buried alive, in my opinion, and doesn't know he's dead,
then it's not John Smith.
it's probably a freaking mimic. I mean, I'm not going to say the energy's not there because I have proof of seeing that. But why doesn't anybody talk about stuff like that? Or why it's all people like that stuff for you're a videographer, like you can take a video of something, but if you add a little music to it, it changes the vibe either way. You can make it sad or you can make it happy. The same exact thing. I can take the same video of I don't know, some trees in the woods and make it either creepy or sunny and happy, either with editing tools or with music, either way. So I feel like a lot of the things people don't understand, if you believe in anything haunted or paranormal, it's around us all the time. So you don't have to go to a freaking graveyard, or sometimes it's just passing through. And maybe if I was a ghost, bro, man, you say some dumb shit like that as I'm walking through, oh, I'm going to make you think I'm like John Smith we're going home. Let's go, baby. Like, I'm going to just be funny. Like, if your spirit has been hanging out for years and years and years and you truly are here, I mean, just like personalities, I'm sure spirits have.
If I ever had the opportunity to go to one, I'm going to use quotes here, possible haunted location.
Yeah.
If I could go to any of them in the entire world, it'd be one place.
Where?
Gettysburg, Virginia.
Okay, that's very popular.
Just to see if I could hear or see something.
I think you would do both. I think you would definitely hear stuff. I've never investigated there because, I mean, the investigation has been mostly South Florida for me, or Florida in general, because I'm going to Brushy Mountain this year, which is in Tennessee. It was a penitentiary, and it's haunted, and they do tours. So I'm going to go there this year. And I don't really have like bucket, because again, I didn't really know about the haunted stuff. I never really researched haunted stuff until I heard my group, mates or whatever, talk about these places. I didn't know this stuff was like, that wasn't something I really delved into. I mean, I've seen the movies. Yeah, I knew about the Annabelle doll. I mean, I thought she was the plasticky doll, but I knew things like that. But like, I didn't really. It's not that I didn't believe it. It's just that I kind of tuned out all that stuff for a long time anyhow, because it's kind of like scary whenever you're like just trying to get through life.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I actually had I had to sit down with myself about a couple of weeks ago, and even though I know I haven't not done the podcast in a while, I said, when it comes to, I know there's more than one thing when it comes to paranormal anything.
Yeah.
There's more than one avenue when you're looking at anything paranormal. It's not just ghosts. And I thought to myself, like, when it comes to haunted places versus, let's say, a UFO sighting.
Yeah.
Or an alien abduction, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like, to me, if I had to encounter one or the other, I would want it to be a UFO sighting. And this is the reason why. No matter what time of day it is, if I'm outside driving or if I'm out in the front yard or the backyard or whatever, and I see something flying overhead, one of the two things, either it's going to be man-made or it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to escape whatever is going on in me, unless it isn't like an alien or extraterrestrial or whatever, it comes down and decides wants to land in my front yard and say hi to me, then
come in for some tea.
Right, come in for some tea Doritos. I mean, if I want to escape whatever it is I'm looking at, all I have to do is just turn around and walk back inside. You know what I'm saying? And then it's gone.
It's out of sight, out of mind, gone.
Sight, out of mind. If I'm in a haunted house,
yeah, you can't get rid.
I can't get away from that unless I decide to move, unless the thing follows me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and that's real. That's real. Like, I mean, like I said, growing up we would go to 808 in Pennsylvania, and you don't get away from it. Like, you got to be scared to go to sleep every fucking night, that you're afraid that the man in the closet is going to come touch your arm again, or you're going to, your grandparents get mad at you because you don't want to go down the cellar and take a shower, and you're like, exactly. But I saw the bald-headed man at the bottom of the steps, like, get the fuck down there and take it. Like, oh my God. Like,
it's like, no, what do you do? It's like,
it's torment until you accept it. That's the problem, is you have to accept it. Like, you have to accept it. And like, I've never experienced something. I mean, I've experienced dark stuff, but I've never had to live in a place or be in a place with like dark energy or something attached to you that way, because I can't imagine not being able to get away from something dark like that, because there are instances of people like that are in a dark, a lot of poltergeist activity or mimic stuff. But again, I don't believe all poltergeist or mimic is negative. Just keep that in mind. I don't believe that. But I can't imagine that. Like, that would be torture. I think I'm kind of right with you on that. Like, yeah, UFO, you just kind of go in and say, what's up? Like, okay, bye.
Right. I mean, if you're sitting there recording, or even if you're not, and you're just witnessing it flying through the skies, like, oh, okay, I can either chalk it up to a plane or it's not. If it's not, I can just go back inside, watch TV, turn on CBS, and then there's NCIS.
And then I'm not gonna, and then I'm gonna forget about it. I might remember it tomorrow when I tell my friend, "Oh, hey man, I saw this weird ass shit. Did you?" Or you're TikTok and you see somebody saying they saw like the alien invasion in Miami. Did you see that? I was like, okay. Like, people are like, "Oh, the alien invasion in Miami, Biscayne gets closed down." Like,
I mean, but if you're inside of a house, you cannot escape it.
No, you can't.
Well, I say you can't. I mean, like, if it's your home that you're like, if you live at that place,
there's no way you can.
I mean, unless you're just just spending the night there at someone's house and say, hey, something's going on, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, not really tell them what was going on. It's kind of lie to them a little bit, like, hey, I go, head on.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here.
But you can't get away from it versus something else like that.
I agree with that, because I mean, you live with whatever's in the house, or I mean, there's so many times I can remember like seeing shadows and stuff, and like being terrified, like literally being terrified. So, and Kristina sees the same dead people in her house all the time. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine waking up and seeing your dead grandma in the house all the time?
I wouldn't want to. And here's the reason why I say that. It's like, I know the things that I've experienced throughout my life, that a lot of the stuff that I have gone through, I haven't necessarily told other people. Just because there's a certain point where you can tell people certain things, and in the back of their mind, they're picturing you in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Which I get that.
Listen, I don't mind. You can make it look sexy. It's okay. I don't care. I'm fine with it.
I forget where I was going with that.
But like, you haven't shared things because people, maybe think you're Delulu.
Yes. I mean.
So there's things that you've experienced so that like, things are there. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, stuff's there, but we don't know really what it is. Or I try to explain to people that get nervous about stuff. Like, they're like, you're not afraid of, and I'm truly not afraid of anything on the other side. I'm just truly not, because I look at stuff like this. Like, first of all, if spirits, demons, ghosts, apparently spirits and ghosts are completely different things. I didn't know that either, but it is what it is. But anything like that, if it could harm us, don't you think they would just be going around killing us when they wanted to kill us? Like, that's the way I look at it. Like, if they were that dangerous, don't you think they would be like just offing us? We would hear more like, random person does this or that because of, well, we don't know, the paranormal. Like, that's what would really happen. You know what I mean? So, like, the thing for me is, like, where I do feel so much, like when I went to, say, like, Devil's Tree, if you see things, you see things. Like, or I'll give you a great example is when my friend Jason was murdered like 2.5 years ago. Kristina had no clue what happened. Nobody. I was going through so much that time. Kristina had no clue what happened, but I could see, like, when they called me and told me Jason was murdered, I literally could see it all happening. Like, I saw what happened. I know who killed him. Still to this day, I know that. People think I'm Delulu. I mean, not everybody, but, like, some of the friends align with me and agree. We can't prove it. But Kristina saw it all too, and she had no connection to it. So when you're connected to something, you wonder if you, like, make up stuff or if you're actually seeing the real thing. You understand what I mean? Like,
that's interesting.
As somebody who has a lot of clairs, like, I'm claircognizant, clairvoyant, clairsentient, clair audio, clair visual, like, every clair I pretty much check off, right? So in my brain, I wonder, like, am I filling in gaps because I'm close to the situation, or am I really seeing what happened? And being that close to the paranormal, that's why I don't watch the fucking movies, because I see the movie of my friend being fucking murdered in my head over and over. You know what I mean? So why do I want to see people profiting off of some fake ass shit when I see the reality of stuff and we can't even solve a fucking murder because we don't believe this stuff, but we will spend the money to go watch the fake shit, the Warrens.
That reminds me of when you were, I just now remember when that situation was going on and you were talking about living through that just clicked with me.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. And the year before that, another one of my very, very, very close personal childhood friends had committed suicide. Not really, but that had happened too, and I can see it all happening. Like, it's crazy how you can see that stuff, like, truly. So, and even with the Colin situation, my friend before that, anytime I talk about, like, him, like, with the suicide, it's like I can literally hear his voice. Like, I can hear his voice saying, like, bitch no, no I didn't, and, like, is that, I mean, now I think it's almost like residual, because of course, but because he didn't, and I can see he didn't. I saw it was an accident, right? And so I thought that was maybe Delulu in my head like that until the thing happened with Jason. And so a week to the day Jason was murdered, I had already set up Gina to go with the DR and the mails and everything, all the doots, all the digital stuff. I told Gina and I had talked about it. Gina and I were better friends at the time than I had not known Kristina very long. And it was kind of the demise of Gina being jealous that Kristina and I had gotten so close. But you got to also understand, Kristina and I are both clairs. We have that energy that aligns. So, and it wasn't like, it honestly wasn't planned or anything. Kristina basically said, like, I was going through it really bad and I was having these dreams constantly and these visions. And so Kristina was like, do you want me to go with you? And it was like literally on a whim. Like, it wasn't, we didn't plan it. It was literally like, she was like, do you want me to go? Cal, I'm off. I think she got off work or I don't know. But she was like, Cal, do you want me to come down there? And let's go down there. And I was like, fucking bet. So we went down there and she literally mimicked what the fuck he went through. Like, literally, when we pull up in his parking spot, because he was shot in the car, She gets out of the car. She's like, Cal, can I sit in the driver's seat? And I took Barry's SUV actually at the time because Jason drove an SUV and I wanted it to be similar.
Right.
And he was murdered in his car. And I pulled up in his parking spot. I knew his parking spot would be empty because it's his fucking assigned parking spot. So I pull up and I park in the parking spot, and immediately, Christina's like, I'm feeling sick. And then she's like, Cal, can I sit in the driver's side? And I'm like, yeah, basically I need you to. Mm-hmm. And I have a video of her literally like holding herself and like gurgling, like, because he was gurgling because he was shot in the neck. So he's gurgling and he has blood on, and her hands felt sticky and wet, and he was like tourniqueting himself, you know what I mean? Trying and gasping for air. She had no clue. She had no fucking clue what happened to him.
She was feeling it.
And so, and I got the visual of all of it, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I saw who shot him. I see him looking up at the person that shot him. I see the shirt he's wearing. I see all of that. And then Kristina gets the physical part of it like that. And I think that was the moment for me that I was like, this shit's real. Like, this shit's for real. This shit is like, I always knew I could feel and hear, but I never met somebody that could do it. Like, that's why Kristina and I are so close, is because of that stuff. Like, we're the only people we've ever met like that. And together it's insane. Gina took us one time to a place where one of her friends died. We didn't know that. We had no clue why Gina took us to this place. It was actually on Christina's birthday. And Gina took us to this place to test us, to see, because she didn't believe that. Because she doesn't have that. She uses tools, you know?
Right.
So you're either one or the other, you're a combination. So she doesn't have that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think everybody kind of has it. I think some people just don't, they're not on the frequency for it.
It goes back to a saying of the eyes see only what the mind is prepared to comprehend.
Yeah. You know, sometimes when I'm on the beach and I take pictures and my friends take pictures beside me, they're like, that's not how it looks. When they see my picture, they're like, I'm like, I don't know if that's not how it looks to you, but that's what I see. So maybe we are on two different planes. We're in the same place, but you only see what you want to see. Because I see this, right. And you see muted. I can't explain that, you know? So yeah, she took us to a place, and between me and Kristina together, we pieced it. We had Gina crying. We pieced it all together, every fucking bit of it. I could see it all happening. Kristina was closer. Kristina feels more, and I guess it just depends, but like I can see it quick. It'll be like a movie. You know how like sometimes when a movie happens real fast and everything happens real fast, and it's like someone's life flashes before their eyes and so many things happen, and it's like in fast forward. That's how I see it. And I used to do this a long time ago with a friend of mine, Mandy. She would go to her family's in California, and I would be like, oh God, this is going to happen. Oh God. And first when I would say it, you feel like you're being like a negative Nancy. Like you feel like you're being like, you don't know if it's like, do I sound like I'm jealous or is this, but I would feel that and I'd be convicted to say something. Now I just feel like I just tell people straight up, like, I got a message for you. I don't know how, I can't explain it. Sorry. And Barry just got one from me last week. And 2 hours later, you got the same message from somebody else.
Good job, Barry.
Like, I literally gave him a message, and I could tell he's just like, I hear you. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he texted me, like, I was like, you will never fucking believe this, and I'm like, I'm just a messenger. That's what it may be. I may not be a. That's also why I don't think you charge for. I don't know. I feel like that's what your purpose is here. You understand what I mean? So like, whatever it is, if you're a natural healer, you're a healer. You're not supposed to charge for it. You're not supposed to. I get that that's your gift, but that's your gift. That's what you're supposed to do here on this earth. To like, you're not supposed to monetize off of it. That's what greed is. But that's a whole other topic. But,
episode 2.
yeah. So we that stuff's just all around us. But I don't know how to. I don't know how to dictate what is and what. Like, I can't go feel this doll and be like, oh yeah, I feel. Sometimes you feel energy. But like you said, like, I'm not going to lie to people and be like, oh yeah, when I'm around this doll, I feel this crazy energy. Like, no, when I pulled her out of the packaging and the mail went to 5.7, oh, okay, there's some energy. But like, did I feel it? Like, probably not. Like, our brains are really powerful. We can trick ourselves when we see numbers or something too. So,
Just true.
I'm always kind of a skeptic too, a little bit. Like, even though I live in a paranormal world, like, I also think our brains are so powerful. Or like when I hear things, like when I hear, because clear audio, Christina and I heard a man laugh when, whatever. There's a whole story with that when we were locked in the Cromartie house. Sometimes when I hear stuff, am I just like, how when you're in an Estes and you're like, and you hear all that noise and you're vibing through radio stations, or like I just randomly sing songs throughout the day. I'm a jukebox, so I just rant shit I don't even know. Everly Brothers will be like, bye bye love, like where did that come from, like. And the next thing I'm singing some Motley Crue. Like, I don't listen to Motley Crue. Like, what? Or Bon Jovi. Like, and the next thing I'm thugging it out with some Kevin Gates. Like, it don't make any sense. But in my brain, like, I talked about the electronics. Like, is my vibration and frequency so high? Because I live on a high vibration. I'm out in nature all the time. That, like, I'm scanning somehow through that radio frequency and hearing spirits sometimes. Like, maybe they're not, how when we're doing an Estes or we're listening to the spirit box, is my vibration so high, my frequency at that level, that I hear a constant spirit box? Like when I'm hearing audio stuff, or
That's
hearing,
interesting.
and I don't know if that sounds delulu, but since you understand that world, you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So I wonder if, since I said again, electronics, if I'm scanning through and I hear these things just as like part of like the frequencies I'm at,
I never thought about that.
Instead of it being me being in tune or something coming to me, I'm just scanning through like Alice, like, oh, okay, what's happening? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just scanning through where I hear, hey, like, oh, okay, hey, like, so I'm always trying to figure it out. I don't
That's a
think
new
it's,
theory.
oh, we just came up with our
That's
own
That's a
theory.
new theory.
I feel like that and my graveyard theory are both great theories that nobody's talked about.
The book is going to be about that thick once you
But I think those are good theories to think about. Like, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. That's okay too. I don't care.
It's interesting with you going through that. My family on my dad's side, a lot of them have passed away since all this stuff has happened, but they were the kind of people that they would see situations occurring like not in front of them, but like stuff that was happening like way away from them, but they could see it taking place like right then.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother on my mom's side, she was very heavy about, she would have dreams of people, and then that person might pass later on.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
My grandmother was huge into that. I kind of have those kind of situations on both sides of my family.
And both of your side, your family Southern, because you're from the South. They both?
Now, I want to say that my dad was born in Kansas, but the majority of my family is from Alabama.
Okay, yeah. So I think with Southern stuff, we have a lot of that happens. Like, it's like foreshadowing. So that's claircognizant. That's how I figured I was claircognizant. Like, I would feel like I could tell things were gonna happen, and it would play out. Like, I would write, like I was saying, my friend Mandy, I would write out. I would tell her. At first I was anxious to tell, and then I was eventually, since we were such good friends, I was like, girl, because she would come back and be like, I did this and that happen. I said, I swear I knew it was going to happen. I didn't say it because I didn't want to sound like a hater, or I didn't want to give negative energy, but I knew that was going to happen. And then it got to where I'd be like, oh, was she wearing this? Were you wearing that? She's like, how the fuck did you know that? And I'm like, she's like, I didn't even post any pictures on Facebook. And I'm like, I don't know. I seen it play out in my head. I can't explain that. So then I got to where one time she was going back to California doing her and I wrote it all down. Like, I already knew it was going to happen. I knew, and I wrote it. I didn't even tell her because I wasn't going to tell you. I wrote it all the fuck down. And when she came back and she was like, holy fucking shit. You are like, how do you, I'm like, I don't know. My friend, I'm really big into manifestation. I believe you manifest everything. Every fucking thing you manifest, good or bad, it's on you. It's your life, your way. It says my life, my way. Truly, 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 what you believe is what you are. That you're the only person that can decide that. I truly believe that. And so my homeboy recently, he was just talking about like, man, that Genesis is a nice car. It's a nice car. Like I was like, oh, you want a Genesis? Yeah, I can see you in a Genesis. You probably gonna have one. He's like, nah, man, I got to do this and that. And I got this lease on this Lexus I got right now. And I was like, yeah, I mean, but I was like, yeah, but you probably whatever. And in my brain, I saw a white Genesis with like gray interior. So that was right before Easter. And we were talking or whatever. And he's up in Detroit for Easter with his family and stuff. And that's when we were talking about it. It was right that week or whatever. Do you know that boy just bought a fucking Genesis? He said, I'm going to listen. You and that manifestation, I don't know how the fuck you know shit like that. Now, granted, I got a little bit off. It's actually got like a cream white interior and it's gray silver on the outside. But it'll be like some little details I get off. But I mean, I knew he was going to have a car. I knew, like, I just saw it. Like, I saw it. Like, I can't explain that. Like, I cannot explain that. So that's called claircognizance from what I've learned. And that happens, I mean, that happens a lot in my life. It's happened. So I also believe it's part of manifestation. I think it all goes in together, you know?
It goes back to just because you haven't been around it does not mean it does not exist. Just
Amen.
Because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not real.
Very, very true. Very true. Yeah, so that's pretty much it today. I really appreciate you coming by and
I appreciate you having me.
And hanging out. I mean, it's been forever. I've been talking about us at least ghost hunting for years, but I'm really glad that you were open to the idea to come and sit down. And anytime you want to come co-host with me, I'm down. Anytime you want to come hang out and
that sounds awesome.
Talk about ghost stories or other paranormal. I know you do more like the alien. I mean, that could be a whole. I'm so down to talk about that. I've never talked too much about it, but
I do more of that because I feel like it's less scary. I kid you,
because it's not as scary. I feel you.
Scary.
I feel you. And my sister has an alien abduction story actually. So I was more into the ghost stuff, and she actually was the one that has an alien abduction. She still to this day don't really want to talk about it, and she will not sleep at night without the TV on. So has to have a light on in every room in the house because she's so scared of aliens. So we were raised out on a farm, so in the middle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The cornfield, we had that. So, and she has a mark on her neck. She has a mark on her neck where she says they put something in her neck or did some kind of test on her.
Man, if I was living at a place like that, I don't know how I'd be able to handle something like that.
It's terrifying, right?
That'd be terrifying.
And I used to always make fun of her. I used to laugh about it. But I mean, I believe her, but like, I'm just a jokester in the real life. Like, I just gotta, what can you do about it? What the fuck can you do about it? What the fuck can you do about it? What can you do about anything? We are just literally a number. We are a fucking number. So just enjoy your time while you're here. Invest your time in things that make you happy. And if that's talking about or chasing paranormal stuff, then do that. And if it's not, then go your other way. But just let people live and enjoy their own space. Are you all getting... What time is it? They're like, Mom, it's almost dinner time. That's why it's 10. This is what happens. 4:30. They start with this. So I appreciate you coming. I look forward to episode 2.
Yes.
And maybe we can get Kristina in on the next one too.
That would be awesome.
I would love that. We'd have a little three conversation.
We have to
we got to get another long headset like this though. But yeah, that would be great actually.
That'd be cool.
So we'll maybe set that up soon. So thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
And you're getting your podcast back on.
Yes.
Like, where can they find you at to listen to your podcast?
Right this second, if you're wanting to listen to anything, it's going to be on, I believe the website is anchor.fm. You'll go to Tales at 3 a.m. At one point, it was on Google Podcasts, but that whole Google Podcast, the whole platform itself has gone down.
Yeah, I saw that.
So any video, you'll find it on YouTube, Tales at 3 a.m. podcast.
Okay, perfect. We'll link it to below too. And I think YouTube is actually coming back I think YouTube is kind of where people are at right now because we're all kind of over TV streaming. I think YouTube is really where we're seeing things too. So, so yeah, check out Michael. He's going to come back with his podcast again too. I'm super excited for that. And we'll have him back here real soon. Thanks again for coming. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Take care. Thanks.